Scrapbookers, it's Katie Scott, and today we're going to be working on scrapbooking grids. So I have a Pinterest board, and it's called Layout Design Grids. And I just want to go through and look at some of the grids and look at some of the different ways that you can create a grid on a page. So this is one of my layouts, and the way that I created a grid of my Instagram photos on this page was to do a photo collage in Picasa. And I'm sure you can do the photo collages in other programs, but that is just an easy way to get a whole lot of photos onto one page and still have, lots of space for journaling and design. So there's one. And I've also done that. This was a photo collage made in Picasa. This was here. And let's see what else. This one was, this one was, this one was. So I do those a lot, and I think it's fun. Okay, here's another way to make a photo collage, or to make a grid, is to use stitching and then fill in the spaces. And I like this design because I intentionally make the shapes. They're pretty much all the same, but they're slightly different. And this was a trip to Maine that we took, and I used photos from brochures along with photos of my family. And I really love the look of that page. I've done that page a few times. Okay, the next way to create a collage is to crop 4x6 photos. And so this is way number 3. And these were 6 photos that were all taken right together. It was when my dog Dandy was getting a little bit older and he needed help getting up on the couch. And there's my husband lifting him up onto the couch. And that just makes me sad. But that's another easy way to make a grid. Another way to make a grid is to, let's see. Oops, here we go. Oh, let's go back. Okay. No, we're going to wait for just a second. Okay, so another way to make a grid is to use pattern paper squares. So on this layout, I just used all papers that had red in them, that were just red and basically a neutral, and then I don't know why I put it on yellow, but I did. I think it was because we were saying goodbye to my dog Dandy, who is a yellow lab, so that's probably why. And it was Valentine's Day, so there's the red. Okay, let's go back to the pin boards. Another way to make a grid would be to use a stamp and just use it over and over again. This is a Jenny Bolin stamp, and some of them I've filled in with photos and others I filled in with embellishments. And on this one I used the nesting pinked circles. And that, as I remember, was a really fun page to make. You're going to need photos that, the subject of your photo is pretty small, but that's a fun one to do. I'd like to do that one again. Okay, so that was number 5. So number 6, let's try a different. This would be, I would consider this one to be the pattern paper squares here. And this is a photo collage. This is a photo collage. Here we've got a different shape. So here I've done a circle and repeated it into a grid. So I'm just going to write down shape, repeat, grid. And the fun thing that you can do here is you can either, and I think this one, yeah, I think I cut this out on the silhouette. So all these holes were already there, and then I taped everything underneath. A more difficult way to do that layout would be to try to line all these up on top, but using the silhouette as your mask, I guess, or your overlay, is really an easy way to make a grid. So I said shape, repeat, grid, and I will there's two types there, overlay and then the shapes on top. I'll put. Okay, another way to make a grid. This is one I really like. This is by Jennifer Larson, and I think she's done the machine stitching. And yeah, I have written that. That was my number 2. But I really liked the look of this page that she did. She's a scrapbooker who I really admire. There's another one with the circles. Let's see how they did that one. I didn't do this one. Geraldine Sy did this one. And it looks like she has not gone for the overlay. She's gone for the making the circles go on top. And I think the way that she made that work was she put the circles right next to each other so everything lined up. Because otherwise, if you've got spaces in between, it's going to be harder. But it almost looks like there's spaces in between because she's backed each one of those circles with a white larger circle. So that's pretty cool. Here's another one where you've got a shape and it's repeating, and it looks like they've used the silhouette to make all those hearts and then backed those hearts with different pattern papers. So that's fun. Another way to make a grid would be to use Project Life type cards. And I'm not sure if these are Project Life type cards, but what she's done, and it looks like they're pattern paper. So really this would be number 4, pattern paper squares, except they're rectangles. But what she's done to make everything look the same is she has done machine stitching around each of her squares. So there's consistency there. That's by Lisa Dickinson, who's a very excellent scrapbook page maker. Okay, the next up, oops, I think I got this one twice. So if you're on your Pinterest board and you've got something twice, you can delete one of them. Okay, so far we've got 7 ways. I would call this a shape repeat. Yeah, let's use this as a method. So, and I think this was part of a paper, but you can use photo frames to create a grid. And let's find 2 more ways, so we'll have 10 different ways to make a grid. Not quite there yet. This I would call a photo collage. Yeah, okay, this is another thing is this composition here where you've got 9 photos. See this one here? We'll just call that the tic-tac-toe board. And that's got 9 spaces. And that always works really well, as opposed to some of the other configurations, like this is 2 by 6, but which can work. It works here, but this 9, the tic-tac-toe board is pretty much always going to work. So that's a go-to that you should remember. Let's figure out one more. This is one that I cropped down 4 by 6 photos. I cropped down 4 by 6 photos here. Okay, here's another idea would be that oops, here we go. This was a layout I did about a trip that we took, and I made the layout, the grid part of the layout from tags in the background, and then I made another grid layout grid part of the layout from the brochures using a square punch, and then my photo is actually on this large tag. So I would say, let's say grid as a background or a foundation. So there's 10 different ways that you can use a grid on your page. Let's go back to the Pinterest board, and I'll just read those off. So number 1 is photo collage. That's this one here. Number 2 is stitching to fill in the spaces. So that's the main layout. Number 3 is crop 4 by 6 photos, and this is an example of that, cropped 4 by 6 photos. Number 4 is patterned paper squares, and we see that one here in Life is So Good. Number 5 is stamping. Use a stamp as the grid shapes. Number 6, shape repeat grid. And you can do this by using an overlay that you create on the silhouette, or you can do this by just very carefully lining up shapes, like this one for the record, or this one called Make This, and it's with circles. Or I guess Make This is a note. I would call that Go. Okay, and then number 7 would be to use Project Life type cards. And we see that even though this isn't Project Life type cards, let me show you one that actually is. I make these ones from time to time. So this is a layout of all of the, not all of them, but some quotes that I found on Pinterest that I like, and I printed out. Okay, number 8 is to use photo frames. And where did we see one of those? Photo frames. Okay, that would be like Polaroid photo frames. Great. And then number 9 is a tic-tac-toe arrangement. So you've got 9 spaces. And number 10 would be the grid as a foundation or a background. And then with your photos on top. So let's find that one again. It's this one here. Scrapbooking the cruise. So my plan is to make more grid layouts, and this time I'm going to be making 2-page layouts. So I'll be right back with kind of the supplies that I would recommend that you get, and some photo recommendations for what to gather as far as photos. Okay, I'll be right back.
Hi scrapbookers, so I want to just show you what I've gathered together, and as you may know from watching my videos, sometimes I'm a little ambitious in what I think I can do. So these are the pattern papers that I've pulled, and these are just sort of my ideas so far. So this pattern paper could be like a kind of a December daily on 2 pages, and the way that I would do that is cut all of these up and then in each of the other spaces put a picture. So that would take up 2 pages. Now to do that I would probably need to either print some more photos so that they would be sized for, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see how big these squares are. They are just slightly over 2-inch squares. So I would probably need to work on that. But that was one idea that I had, was to use this page to create a 2-page layout. The same with the Project Life type cards, is you can use those to create grids. And so I pulled that one, and yeah, I just liked it, and it looked general enough that I could probably put just about anything, you know, have any kind of a topic. The next one are photo frames, and I saw a layout like that on Pinterest, and I think the layout that I saw was using Dear Lizzie paper, but this is We Are Memory Keepers paper. It does the same thing. And if you wanted to create a 2-page layout with this, I'm not sure. I think you would almost need to either cut this down the center and put that in the middle, or it would be hard to cut this up because it's going off the page. So I'm not sure, but I just pulled that. I'm not sure if I'll use it. And then I also I went into my pattern paper stash and tried to find, oops, this one here is another, like I thought, this is a school themed simple stories journaling card elements, it's called. But that would be an easy way to make a school page, just with the Project Life type cards and some school photos. I haven't gathered my photos yet, but I just wanted to show you the supplies that I've gathered. But then next I gathered as many pieces of paper that I had 2 of. So this looks like a pattern, and what I thought I would do is have one side of the pattern going up and then the other side going upside down, so that you really wouldn't notice the patterns too much, because I think if they're both going the same way, your eye wants to repeat them. So if I use these, they'll be one right side up and one upside down. And then what I can do is then, you know, take something like, see, I took this little pack and then do something that's repeating and put photos on top of these, you know, or this way. We saw some of those shapes, and I think that would be an easy way to create a layout. Ta-da! Again, I haven't pulled my photos yet, but I just wanted to show you some of the things that I pulled. I pulled another one of these We Are Memory Keepers little packs, and I think these would be a great place to put these elements, and then also cut your photos so that they'd be that same size and you could create a grid that way. Okay, those back. So I'm just kind of brainstorming ideas at this point. I picked some ledger paper because I had 2 of them, and I think that ledger paper is great for a grid because, you know, the lines are already there. I picked another that was, I think this is a Studio Calico paper, and it just lists out, I don't know, food. And so I thought I would do the same thing with this paper and put one of them upside down if I use them, so that your eye wasn't really going to what was on the paper, that it was just reading as a background. But I wanted a darker color, just because I thought that could be fun. And, you know, if you put lighter color cards onto the top, then they're going to show up, you know, really easy. So I would need, what I need to do is go gather some photos. And I would guess, like, on each layout, you know, I would have at least 10 photos, but maybe more. Here's another that gives you, and this was a little bit of a challenge because I have, it's ripped on the corner, so I have to figure out something that I would do with that. But I thought probably I would just probably put another piece of paper on top of it, not that particular piece of paper, but I could do it that way, and then add, like one of the layouts that we saw had things added on top. And this would be a really great way to not use the paper as it is, but to use these as placeholders and then use a circle punch to put photos or embellishments and that kind of thing onto the top of the paper, because it's already all gridded out for you already. The next step is I just picked this pink, salmon pink color, number 1 because I like it, and number 2 because it's just kind of plain and you can do just about anything on top of it. This would be a one where I might use machine stitching, or you can even use twine. And if you use your crocodile and poke holes into the top and the bottom, then you can just use the twine, hold on, let me show you, to make that machine stitching look on the page. And that's fun to do. And by using a solid color like this, there's a lot of space for journaling. And then I also picked this one, which is very busy, but I had 2 of them, and if I change my mind, you know, the backs are the same, you know, the same color, but I thought it might be fun to use something really busy as a background, and then put, I don't know, something on the top of it to maybe even a mat, and then put the photos on top, maybe a photo collage. Okay, and then next I found this paper that I think is also Studio Calico, and I have one right side up and the other one upside down so they don't look too much like they're matching, although they kind of do, right in the middle, but oh well. And then I can maybe put, you know, Project Life cards on top. Let me just see if I have any handy. And this is, if I wanted to cover up like every single space, it would be fine, because this is just a really, if you have paper like this, it's an easy way to get everything all lined up so that, you know, you don't have to worry about where things are going. or you can use it as is, you know, and just, anyways, I thought this would be really easy to work with and really easy to fill in those frames. Okay, so those are the papers that I picked. And what I will do before I go looking for photos is maybe say, that's a fall, there's a birthday, there's maybe the pink one could be maybe something with my girl. This one could be travel. This could be maybe items around the house. Who knows what, you know, whatever at school, and Christmas. So I can write those down and then go looking for a bunch of photos that I can print kind of smaller or into shapes. So I already showed you some of the embellishments that I picked to go with this project. Because what I think I'm going to do is make a lot of, like 10, maybe, 2-page grid photos. So I picked these little We Are Memory Keepers, Memories Made Easy. So if you pick something that's coordinating, that's going to really help you to make a cohesive look onto 2 pages. I picked these October afternoon cards that were on a full piece of paper, and then I just cut them down. So in my Instagram photos might be a great option for that. I picked some twine, and I have my machine, my sewing machine right here on the desk, but that's a way to create a grid. It's a fun way to do it. And I picked these frames because frames are a great way to create a grid, and some more Project Life cards. And so I just have all of these things kind of handy to me. I also picked out some wood veneers that are in these pink circle shapes, and especially for, go back to that paper that already had the circles, it will be fun to kind of add these in to different, you know, we can have fun embellishing. and by using the circle paper, it's going to make it really easy to use these wood veneers that really go highly unused in my stash. The same with these tags. So I've got these metal rimmed tags, and they actually fit exactly onto those circles. So that's going to be also a fun embellishment that I can put onto that paper. So I have a feeling that page is going to go together really quickly. More circles. I don't think these will go onto this page, but these can be embellishments for when you have something that's looking real boxy, like this paper, and then just to add these little circles, you know, in different places. That's going to be a fun way to embellish that page and make it not so boxy. So I've just been cutting these up by hand. I thought about punching them, but I kind of like the imperfect look of them, and they didn't seem like perfect circles to me anyway. So that was a Simple Stories paper with just a lot of different icons on it. I pulled 4 different 6x6 pads, because one great way to make a grid, as we talked about, was to cut up pattern papers or put them in a repeating pattern or a repeating shape. So I also pulled out some of my old school dies, and these are the Sizzix, like nestabilities kind of dies. I do have a silhouette. And what you can do on your silhouette is like put 4 different sheets on, and then cut, you know, have the same shape, cut 4 different pieces of paper. And that's a great way to really get a whole bunch of different shapes onto your page. And then I also chose just some other embellishments that seem to work with the colors that I had going on. Some of them, not in all of them, but I went to a sale recently, so I have a whole lot of brand new embellishments, brand new to me, that I want to use. So I just pulled those out, so I'd be sure to use them. So those are my supplies, and my next step is is to be choosing the photos. So I will be back, and what my goal is to choose photos. So get your different, however many you want to make of your pattern papers. Get those together and then go to where your photos are, either on the computer or if you have storage binders or drawers, and gather up the photos. And you're going to want photos that you don't need the whole 4x6. Something that you can crop down or print smaller than a 4x6 so that you can have more fun with these grids. So go ahead and do that, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I would say pause and then come back and we will reconvene. Okay, bye-bye. Hi scrapbookers, so I'm back and I've printed off a bunch of photos, and these are from my Instagram feed, and the way that I made these was that I just get it up on my computer, and I usually use Instagram on my phone or my iPad, but I got it up on the actual computer and then I hit print screen, and then I just cropped in Picasa so it would just be the white around it, so it wouldn't be like the web address or anything like that. And so I got my photos from Instagram, and those are going to be some of the photos that I use. I got a whole bunch of those. In fact, my printer started running out of ink because I printed so many. There's one more. And so what I could see was some of this was just things that we do around here. Some of my pictures were from a road trip that we took. And some of them were Throwback Thursdays, so I thought that could be a page. And some of them were scrapbooking, and that could be a page. So I've got a lot of opportunities there. But I wanted to show you just how I did that. So those are the Instagram feed pictures. A whole, probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 pages of those. And then I also did a collage of photos of my daughter from this past school year, because one of the pages that I was going to make is going to be about school, and really this past year we focused a lot on my son, so I wanted to make a page just for her. And these were Christmas, and I printed way more than, I was just going to print 25 pictures and print them larger, but I ended up with this arrangement, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to incorporate that into the, what I was planning for this piece of paper, but we'll see. And then the next one is, these are pictures from our road trip. And so what is going to happen is I will also end up probably going back into my regular 4x6 photos, and but I have those right handy, and yeah, and so I would say let's just pick these here and we will get started. So I'm going to put the rest of my photos to the side, and then I'm going to pick the background. Which of those bunch of, so here are all of the papers that I had planned on using, and I think what I would like to do is maybe use this paper here, because this was, I was going to use this as the travel page, and but I'm not sure that I'm gonna, what I want to do is make sure that these are gonna fit in my circle punch, and they sort of do. This circle punch is actually a little bit larger than I would like it to be. Let me just see if some of those, oops, some of these punches work a little better. Not really. Okay, well, so I don't think that I want to have those as, yeah, I'm really, really not sure what to do. But I did really like the idea of filling in these circles and using this as the base for a page. And I think what I'm going to do is, because I have this problem with the page over here, and that there's a little piece ripped out of it, is I'm going to put a strip going down this way that will be like Spring Break Road Trip 2014. And so I'm just not going to worry too much about that at this point on the page. Another way to set up this page would just be to use the photos like they are in the photo collage, and I showed you a bunch of those, and that's where you just kind of go like this, and I could go road trip, and I almost want to just do that instead of filling these in. Isn't that bad? But I think that would actually be so much faster. So I think I'm changing my mind on using this with these photos, and it was just the way that I ended up printing them. So that is not going to work at this point. Let me do some more thinking about which photos are going to go with which backgrounds, and I will be back. If you are struggling, it's fine. Just go back and pair up which ones are going to go with which, and then start to think about how you're going to crop. Because some of the ways that I've done it are just not working yet. So let's just switch gears a little. And that's what I kind of like about using, like working on more than one page at once, is you can switch gears. So instead of the travel page, so if you're hitting a snag with one page, you can then work on a different page. And then hopefully what will happen is while you're working on this other page, your brain will go back to, oh, I bet I could do, blah, blah, blah with that first page. So let's get this divvied up here. So I need my guillotine cutter. Just reach for that, and I turned on a light over there. And what I'm going to do, and I won't do this on film because I'm going to be making so many pages that I don't want to use up all the time. So while I do scrapbooking in real time, this is all I'm going to be doing, is cutting these photos so that they're just individual little photos. And then the other thing that I'm going to be doing is cutting this cut apart sheet, and then I will be back when I have everything cut up, and then I'll need 2 pieces of paper for the base of these pages. So I'll be right back. Hey scrapbookers, so I'm back. I actually left this project overnight and haven't worked on it, except that I did cut up the little photos of my daughter and her first year of school, and they are little. They are 2 inches tall by 1.5 inches wide. So, and I just made those with one 8.5 by 12 sheet that I printed from Picasa photos. Yeah. So I went through many different thoughts on this layout, and I was originally going to use these really cute simple story cards, and I think that they're okay, but the colors read more boy to me than they do girl, and I think that I still can make a boy's layout with these cards in my son. So I'm going to put these to the side, and then instead I looked at these cards from Pink, I think they're Pink Paisley, and they're really cute, and I thought that the colors were going to work better, and they would be like, more girly and cute, which they totally are. But the problem is that they're so large, and I have so many of those little tiny photos, that I then looked again at these We Are Memory Keepers little pads, and they're called Albums Made Easy. This one is Daisy, and it's just all cute girly colors. And then I have a kit of For the Record paper, and I was really just looking for something to use as a background, but then I found this paper, which includes the notebook paper on the sides. So my thought is to make a grid here, and put the photos there, and then to do journaling on each side. So I'll have a whole lot of room to write a story. So I will just show you how I'm going to get that started. And then I'm actually not going to probably do this all on tape. On tape? Yeah, I think that's what you would call it. Yeah, on camera. So I'm just going to line these up, and let's just see how they're going to line up. And what I want to do probably is do a mix of colors and these are double-sided. It's a really nice little pack actually. And I want to say that this pack was really not expensive. And it really coordinates with those colors. Now I don't know if that's because both of these products We Are Memory Keepers. They're different lines, so I don't know if that makes any difference or not. So what I'm just trying to do here is line up some of these so that you get a good variety, and some of them work better than others. Let's see. And I did mention, but they're all double-sided, which is so cool. It's cool. And so what I want to do with these is probably make things in threes. So like this is a smaller pattern. So you want to kind of arrange things so that they're going to be visually pleasing. And to do that, you can really say, okay, I see that there's, like some of these are repeating. Like that's a repeat of this. And then what you just don't want to do is have two of the same pattern, line up too much. And then I'll just go ahead and I can place all these different photos on these little cards. And what will happen is I'll probably embellish some with washi tape and just adhere others down. And then what I think I might do later is on the computer make some computer journaling to put above and below. So I think that could be fun. Oops. Anyways, it's going to go about like that. I'm going to adhere everything down, and then I will be back to show you the next step and probably the next layout, because we're going to keep working on all of these. I'm not going to completely finish them at one time, but this is the beginning of this. So if you have, project life cards, or you have something like these, line them up, make a grid, and then I'll check back in. I'll show you what I have when this is a little bit more put together. Okay, I'll be right back. Hey Scrapbookers, so I'm back, and I spent just a little bit of time watching, pasting all this together, and I started watching Debbie Hodges' Masterful Scrapbook Design video, and so I'm 12 minutes into that. So this took 12 minutes to just adhere all that stuff down. And what I did was I just lined up those cards, and then I had extra photos, and I really didn't want to not use them, because I'm all about putting as much as I can onto a page, usually. I mean, even if I'm using one picture, I usually I'm not great with the white space. Oh, I just found that. That's cute too. That's her actual, that wasn't, yeah, I don't rehearse these videos. They're just, I just press play. So I just opened the drawer because I thought I had one picture that I didn't use, but from that 12 by 12 sheet, which was a little bit like this one, I got all of the photos on, and I don't think they look too busy. What I do think I want to do is type out some little journaling on my computer and paste those down as strips. So those will kind of be almost like embellishments to the page. And then I'm actually going to use this space and this space to do some writing about the year. And then I just found this photo here, and I think what I would like to do, yeah, is incorporate this in. So let's just trim this one down just a little bit. It's Allison and our old mare, and then let's just tuck her in here. Okay, I like that. I think I like that. And I'll just tell you a couple things that I tried to keep in mind when I was doing this. Hold on one second there. Okay, so now we have 3 photos here, 3 photos here. Not quite 3 photos there. That would have been good. But I don't, I thought I had one more picture, which is why I looked in my little drawer, but I don't seem to have it, so no big deal. I think it's okay to have a little bit of randomness here. But what I tried to do is, like, at first I tried to put all the photos going in one, like one line, but it was too hard to perfectly match them up. So therefore I stepped them. So down, up, you know, I just kind of did it that way so that each time it's not going to look like it's supposed to be perfect. The other thing that I did was I tried to just use some repeating patterns. So I've got 3 of those chevrons. I've got 3 of these smaller prints. I've got, and it didn't work out perfectly, but it you know, I tried to do things in 3s, and I've even got 3 of those larger word cards, and then that's where I kind of go off the page, so it keeps going in this, you know, like we've got a lot of pictures. So this will be basically like a half-baked page, and what a half-baked page is, what I call a half-baked page, is like you've got the foundation down, you've got the pictures placed, but you don't have the title, the journaling, or the embellishment. And what I'm going to do with this page is I'm going to leave it half-baked until I put that computer journaling on, probably tomorrow when I'm at my office. And so what I'm going to do therefore is just set this one aside and then go to the next page. So I'm going to pick that up, and I will be back with the next page. Hey scrapbookers, so I'm back, and my goal is to do 2-page layouts with this grid formation, but I think that I'm going to leave this page as is, and I think this is a We Are Memory Keepers page also, and that's a company where I used to buy these you know, 12 by 12 ring binders, what do you call those? Like a scrapbook album. And like, oh, I mean, I've been buying them for years, like since I started modern scrapbooking. And then I don't know as if they've always done papers, but the papers lately I've liked them. So they're very versatile, and yeah, I like them. So I thought that I would do one page here of the Instagram photos that I have, because I think they're about the same size as these squares in the Polaroid. So what I thought I would do is pick one topic, because not all of, like, in my Instagram feed I've got dog pictures, I've got Throwback Thursday pictures, and that might be a good choice for these here. Let's just see. I want to get about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 15 photos. So I need something that I'm going to have 15 of, or I could do, like, I've got different scrapbooking. That might be kind of fun. I think I've got about 15 of those, and I think that will work in. I've got a whole bunch of a road trip, And actually I think I have more than 15 scrapbooking photos. So let's do the Throwback Thursday thing. And I'm just going to cut up these little photos and then I'll be straight back to show you how I'm going to place those onto the page, which isn't going to be rocket science. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, scrapbookers, so I have cut up the Instagram photos and I just tried to arrange them in by topic, and so I had sort of enough to do this page here, but what I think that's going to happen is I don't think I want the whole page. I think I'm going to cut this part and this part off, and then I'm going to back it on something else and call it hashtag Throwback Thursday, you know, because that's what all of these pictures were. And not all of the pictures really, when I printed these out, they didn't all come out the same size. And I'm not going to worry about that. It's fine. And what I tried to do, again, is like mix up the content of these pictures so that they're, you know, they're doing rules of three. Not exactly, but sort of, on these pictures. And I think I'll leave this camera showing. I was going to cover that up. And I even have, I didn't quite have enough Throwback Thursdays, so on some of them I just used like scrapbook pages that related to olden times. So, yeah. And I really like that Throwback Thursday trend. It's something fun that, you know, you can look at old pictures of your friends and family, and it's cool. And even, you know, some pictures, not necessarily through Throwback Thursday, but I've gotten some pictures from Facebook that, in a Facebook group that I'm in, that I never saw before of my family, like family history photos. So that's been pretty cool. And I've also been able to identify old photos that I didn't know who those old people were. So that's been really cool. So that's the photos taped to the page. And then let's just cut this up. So then these can become like cut apart sheets or cut apart paper embellishments. And then this is going to be the subject of my page. Now, again, my goal was to create 2-page layouts, but this doesn't really need a 2-page layout. So I'm just going with that theory of grids, and what I'm going to do to just fit these into the container I have for this sort of thing is cut this up. And then I've been keeping paper embellishments in these like really awesome bowls that I got at my mom's house. She's downsized and I'm in love with those bowls. I have a new obsession. Okay, so now I just need like a something to back this up with. And the first thing that kind of popped out at me was this Jenny Bolin ledger paper that's dimensional. And the reason I like it is I think I can get the title in there and then do a little bit of journaling down here. But I also like it because it's like a frame. And I think it's okay that I don't have the sides. It's fine. Yeah. So it's going to go like that. And then behind that, I think I would like to have something black or very dark. I just created a Pinterest board called Dark Backgrounds, or the whole thing is called something else, but it's basically like, you know how white is such a thing right now? Well, whenever anything gets to be such a thing, I get a little annoyed with that, and then I want to go the other way. Oppositional defiant disorder. No, just kidding. But kind of, you know. And so I think I will back it up with a dark thing like that, and then I will do my Throwback Thursday up here. So that's going to be my half-baked page. I'm not going to embellish this yet, but I'm going to put together the page like this. Then I'm going to set it aside in the half-baked pages that we're going to come back to and embellish at the end. Okay, I'm back and I have placed the layout on a back, and I also just wanted to show you the title because it's so cute. Throwback Thursday, and I used gold letters for Thursday, and then I wanted to kind of create a sort of like a visual triangle, but I guess it didn't really work because I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, but whatever. And so I've got the hashtag as an embellishment in one of these polarized, and then also I thought I would just include the year 2014 because Throwback Thursday is when I started doing, 2014 is when I started doing Throwback Thursday. So I really am loving this layout. This is still a half-baked page because I haven't embellished and I haven't journaled. I did put the title on, so that's like one step further than just a totally half-baked page, but there's that. And then what I like to do too is when I go, oh, that was so easy to put together, I can take another set of photos, and this set I am not going to actually break up. I've trimmed it. I printed this on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'm going to leave it like that and basically do the same arrangement on another page. So no, I didn't do a 2-page layout, but I'm going to do a 1-page layout that is going to have the same setup. So I haven't chosen any any paper for that yet, and we get like kind of a beach scene going there. I really did like the shape though. I thought that was fun, and I do have all of my shapes kind of in the beginning here, and so that shape works pretty well. It might be cute to like cut this in half and then just have that sun kind of coming up on the page. Let's see how that would look. And I just kind of chose it at random. Now I'm just looking for a paper that would back the whole thing up. Here's a different kind of a paper. Let's just try a couple here. So this is what that would look like. Looks okay. And then, okay, I'm going to cut this, and I think it's going to work. I hope it does. Otherwise I'll be a little bit sad, because this is cute paper. This is Jenny Bolin paper. Oh, it's not going to work exactly like I thought. This is from 2010. That other piece that I have was from 2009. And I know some people say they don't care about that stuff, but I think it's interesting. So as long as I think it's interesting, I'm going to keep talking about it. So you're not going to see... Oh, that would be a cute page though, huh? Maybe like... No. I was going to do it like this. I don't really like that, but I do like the way this looks on a page. So I'm not going to use it for this page, but I am going to use it on a different page. So let's just back that up. And usually, so the difference of what I'm doing right now is I am starting like a whole bunch of pages at once, which is not something that I normally do. But I like this look. I think it would be fun to make those into a gate so they could actually like open. And then it's like travelogue, and it would have road trip. So I'm gonna set that in my in that half-baked pile, although I don't I guess I don't want to put it over there yet, but I'm making too many piles. But that's another option. I don't think I like that. Let's keep looking. This is called Wayfarer. I like this. I don't like that I would be covering up so much of that the map background, but you know what? I do like it, and I think I'm going to go with it. And the reason that I recommend that is that if you just keep looking, then you're never going to get anywhere. You'll just keep looking and looking. So I do like that. Let's use that. You know what I almost want to do? This is really nice paper, by the way. This is Basil Basics paper, and it's a nice heavy weight, and it has a really nice texture on one side. The other side is good, but it's not as textured. Like one side is really like an orange peel kind of a texture, and then the other side is more flat. That's a nice paper because it gives you the option of what kind of finish you like on the paper. And I really like the design of this paper. That is nice. Basil Basic, good job. So what I'm thinking is I almost want to cut this out, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna restrain myself. So I'm just gonna place this on the page and know that I might add some layers underneath the photo collage there. So I'm gonna make a very simple half-baked page. Just like that. And rather than smushing it this way, I'm going to just turn it over and do it like this because I printed those photos at home. Sometimes they smudge. I like it. Yeah, I think it's, well, it's not straight. But I do like it. Oh, I also like that you can see Florida. So normally I would put this up a little. But if you can see Florida, which is where we are right here, I think I almost want to highlight that part. So let's do it this way, and then this will be a little bit more open. So at least two of these borders, like this and this, will be consistent. So it won't look like I've gone too wonky on where I put that. Yeah, it's not sticking very well because of the texture with just the regular tape, but now I'm pretty sure as to where I want it to go. So I'm going to break out the glue stick, which is not something I always do with photos, but sometimes that awesome texture means that it's more difficult to adhere. So when you glue stick the paper, you really have, it's more of a commitment. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's coming up on the sides a little. I don't mind that. This is going to just go straight into that half-baked pile. So now I have one 2-page layout and two 1-page layouts in that half-baked pile. And next we'll be making another. We will be making another 2-page layout. But I'm going to take a break and actually go to where these pictures are. So I'm going to go have some fun, and then I will be back. Hey scrapbookers, so I did 2 things while I was away, and nothing earth-shattering, but one was I made a gatefold scrapbook page with using this ledger and then using that specialty paper from Jenny Bolin. And I'm planning a summer road trip. Shh. Not everybody in my house knows, but yeah, I am. And so I think I might use this for the summer road trip because of this big sunshine. Otherwise, you know, I could use it for the road trip pictures that I took on our spring road trip, but that feels a little more summer to me. I don't know, we'll see. I might just do these because they're already printed, and the colors kind of go. Yeah, they do. So I think I will do that. I won't wait for summer. I'm just going to, so I'm going to use that, and it's not exactly a 2-page layout, but it's pretty darn close, right? So I'm going to put those pictures on, and what I think that I will probably do is 4 down here and then a title, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything to that side. And then inside I will probably lay out the photos just like that, and then write about all the different things that we did, because there's, you know, the time, the date. So that actually is going to make for a really easy travel page. So I'll show you that once I've adhered it. I'm trying to conserve time in these videos. And then the second thing I did was with that one cut apart sheet, the Christmas one by October Afternoon. Oh, I love this so much. And so I've just set it out checkerboard style, and it fits perfectly. And then I'm thinking on those, in the little spaces, I'm going to put these little pictures just randomly. And I'm also going to do a double stitch, so it's going to look like a quilt. So you'll see that a little bit later, but I just wanted to give you a little update, and I'll be back. Hi Scrapbookers, so I'm back with the Christmas 2-page layout, which is probably my most favorite one so far, and also my most frustrating one so far. So putting together all of the numbers on the page was extremely gratifying, as was the photos. It went together really, really easily. What I started to have trouble with is my sewing machine. I'll just give you a little peek at that craziness there. And so, you know how December is always all too, you have the best intentions. You want to get all this stuff done in December, and then it doesn't always work out. So I intended to make a stitch so that every single square would be like stitched all the way around. But my machine kept giving me trouble so many times that I think I am going to leave some of them, like including this one where I just stop right there. I'm going to leave that undone because that's December. December, you don't get everything done. You have these grand plans and then it doesn't all work out, but still a lot of fun, happy things happen. So that's the story of this page. I do think that I'm going to come back and do some of that computer journaling. So with the strips, like computer journaling onto strips. So far I have this is, half baked. I've got that, which was one, we'll count this as 1, 2, 3, and this was my 4th. That's going to be a 2-page spread, but we'll just call that 4. And then let's see what I had pulled with my grand plans. Grand plans in December, grand plans in scrapbooking. So I also plan to do a fall page, and I plan to do something with this. I planned to do something with this school, the composition. This is a cut apart sheet. So I think that's coming together, and as I come across photos of him, I'm just putting them in that little stack. I lost count. But anyway, we'll just keep going. So I plan to do a travel page with this. I haven't done that yet. A birthday page, the melon. So I still have a lot that I've pulled that I haven't used yet, but I'm not out of inspiration yet. So I'm going to, look what else. I found one of these pieces of paper that doesn't have a rip out of the corner. So I'm going to replace that there. Yay! And then I also created this gatefold page. So those are all the ones I'm working on right now. So I'm simultaneously going to be working on about 10 different pages at once. Is that nuts? A little bit. But it's fun and it's different. And so a lot of times I think the best thing that you can do for yourself in scrapbooking is to continue to do different things. So, work upon the skills that you have, but then take those further. And then what I'm doing right now is a concept in improvisational comedy called piling it on. So I'm not talking embellishments, I'm talking about taking one something, a theory, a color, in this case grids on a 2-page spread, and just continuing to do those again and again and again until you actually come up with something. Like, what will happen is you'll come to a point where you get stuck, and then something will open up, and then you'll have this free flow of ideas, and you'll be so excited about it. So the improv game for that is to, it's like concentration. Remember in junior high, concentration, ready, begin. Apple, aqua, Yeah, pictures of it, like say as many A things as you can, say as many whatever. And what will happen is you'll go through and you'll run out of A words, and then somebody will say an A word that will just completely open it up again, and then you'll feel like you've just found 100 million more. So it's the same theory with this, with what I'm doing with this, making lots of grid pages all at once. Okay, that's all. I'll be back. Hey scrapbookers, so where does the time go? So I started this a couple days ago, and then we went to Busch Gardens, I went to work, and I just, a lot has gone on in between, but let's get back to this project. And today I was at work, and I like to, what I did was I brought in this stack of layouts, right? And then I just typed up on the computer all of the little journaling bits. So then what I plan to do is just then I will cut these up, and let's see if we can find this one. This is, okay, so this is right here. So they're very small, so it'll be like very small with big big scissors here. So it's going to go like this, and I'm not going to bore you through the whole thing, but I did this in like a 10-point font, so all these tiny little captions I'm going to cut. So this is going to be a little time consuming, but I can probably like watch some TV or something like that while I'm doing it, and then they're just going to go onto the pictures like that. So, see that? Ta-da! But I will adhere them, so which I didn't do. So that's going to happen, but this is where we are right now. So I've got this 2-page layout. I've got this one, Throwback Thursday. I've got this one about one day at the little island near our house. I've got the 2-pager on Christmas. This was fun to put together. Even though I did have sewing machine issues, it was still fun. And then I don't think I've shown you all of these. I think I did this off camera. But this was just a 2-pager about my daughter's birthday party. And actually it goes like this. Not that it matters a lot, but this was just a band, and I just cropped down 4x6 photos, and my goal was really to get as many photos as I could onto the page. So each page has 6 photos. One was cropped smaller and one was cropped bigger, and then I just staggered them. That's a really easy way to put together a layout. And then I think I did this one off camera too. And those were, we had a party recently at my house, and I Instagrammed all the photos, and so I printed my Instagram photos using Picasa, and then I just backed them with these little cards. They're like Heidi Swap cards, and I really I liked how this came together. And so that's going to get the little treatment. And I also did this one off camera. So this video is a little bit different than I normally do, but I wanted to play with the idea of making as many layouts as I could, or wanted, felt inspired to, using my guidelines were use a grid and try to make 2-page layouts. Now they didn't all come out 2-page layouts, that's fine. And this is like a gatefold album, or gatefold page, and then this one is, this ended up being a 1-pager. That's fine. And then I did pull these papers that I didn't use. But you know what? I'm at the point where I'm ready to move to the next step with this. So it's okay. These are just going to go back into my, paper pile, and we'll move on. So after I adhere all of these little words, that's going to take a while. I'm going to do that off camera. Then we'll come back and have fun with embellishments. Yeah, that'll be fun. And we'll add lots of doodads and some titles and that sort of thing. And then we can call it done. And I originally did this for a Get It Scrapped blog post that's about 2-page grids, but unfortunately I don't think I like it's the blog post is due to come out tomorrow, so I'm fairly certain I missed a deadline. Sorry about that. I'm getting back on track with my deadlines. And a lot of times I'll do more pages than are required, so it all evens out. That's what I keep telling myself. But but anyways, I'll do this. Maybe I'll put this in the comments over there, so you can still, if you're watching this video, I still encourage you to go over to Get It Scrapped, and they're gonna have a blog post that comes out June 12th, 2014. That's all about the 2-page grid. So these probably won't be in there, but that's what my original intention was, and then time got away from me. But I'll be back.